at that point, you're not there to play it safe. Like if you're not taking risks, you're not competing.
It's empowering. You know, I mean, anybody who's done a CrossFit workout, you finish your CrossFit workout and you're like, I'm on top of the world.
Yeah.
Like a hunger for competition and like that super intense structure, routine. I still had that desire.
Listen to the way people feel and the motivations for doing the things that they did. It was like they were describing me to a T.
I'm not trying to solve everything for you, but I know that sometimes you just need somebody to listen.
Learned the most is how to fill my cup by filling others.
Welcome to the Hungry Dog Barbell Podcast. Join me as I talk with passionate people about their life's failures and successes, and most importantly, what keeps them hungry for more. What up, dogs? Welcome back to the Hungry Dog Barbell Podcast. We're joined here by, what is this, a repeat guest now? And I've had these people on a lot of times. Gina, how do I say your last name?
Skibarassi.
Skibarassi. All right, I'm going to try to say it right now. Gina, how are you today?
Today's my rest day.
Hey.
Yeah, Thursdays, I always make a set rest day.
Wait, you do? You have a set rest day every week?
Set rest day, Thursday, every week. And then if I get another rest day in, like I usually do, like sometime on the weekend maybe, but Thursday is always set rest day. No matter what, for like 2.5 years, 3 years, it's
really
Thursday. Yeah.
Damn, I feel like I'm used to the Gina that works like 7 days a week. Yeah. Like if you're not in the gym, you're out running like 10 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
But what are you resting for now? What you got coming this weekend?
Saturday, I have a strongman show, winter wreckage. And yeah, I'm excited for that.
That'd be dope, dude. How did you guys all first get into strongman, like at Pottstown? I know you have like a big community of that over there.
Yeah, you had Coach Zig on here before, and he kind of started that at Pottstown. He brought some people in to do a clinic, and I was not interested at first because I was doing weightlifting. Like I was weightlifting a lot then, and they brought these people in, and they were doing clean and jerks with axle bars, and I thought, I was like, what is this? And like lifting stones, and they had a log. But I always saw Ziggy kind of doing it on the side, and it was interesting. But like I said, I wasn't really like fond of it in the beginning because like clean and jerking with an axle bar, like when you're used to weightlifting, you're like, this is kind of dumb. Like, what am I doing?
Right. Dude, I just did like a clean with a keg just to get it overhead to overhead squat.
Yeah, I saw that video. Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, what's the best way to get this overhead? It is much different, right? When you're using the odd objects.
Yeah,
you know?
Totally different. But yeah, he kind of started that there at Pottstown. I always was interested in it. Like I would follow like Joey from the Lion's Den, and they were doing strongman stuff. And I was like, that's interesting because I'm so used to like CrossFit style workouts. And just so he kind of started building that community at the gym. And every now and then after I would do my workout, I would jump in with him. He was doing something on the side. And it was fun in the beginning because it's like everything's a PR. Like you're not like with weightlifting after a while, like
dude,
it's
crash,
like, there's
right?
no PR for a while, like for a year sometimes. But it was like everything was like a PR. You're like, oh, that's fun. Like I can do that. But it just kind of built up that way. And I like it's different than CrossFit. You know, CrossFit competitions, I've been doing them since 2017, like since I started CrossFit. And you know, you have your heart rate high for like 15 minutes or something. Like it's this strongman's like different. You won't have anything more than like a minute in the competitions. But yeah, it's interesting to me, you know, like, can I do that? I want to be able to do that. Can I pick that stone up? I never even tried something like that before. It's all different. And that's what like intrigues me because it's different all the time.
What do you got this weekend? Do you know what the events are ahead of time?
Yes. So we have one is max stone over bar for reps. The stone's 115. There's a sandbag press. And I thought I was good at pressing, right? I like pressing. Right. But the sandbag is 80 pounds, 100, and 115.
Oh, is it like just one rep or max reps of those?
No, you just do it like one. Yeah, you do the 80-pound sandbag, and then you go right to the 100-pound sandbag.
Oh, is it for time?
Yeah.
I've seen the,
But the thing is, like 115, like it doesn't sound like a lot. Like that's my max strict press. But with the sandbag, it's something like totally different. Like,
dude, it sounds like
it like humbles you. It's like, in practice, I've only gotten it like 5 times, and I've probably tried like 30 times. So we'll see.
So is it from ground to overhead?
Yeah, you just pick it up, you can clean it anyway, and then just
Press it overhead.
Yeah.
Damn.
So that one is deadlift for reps. In my weight class, the weight for the deadlift is 225, so that won't be bad.
Do you like deadlifting?
Yeah,
like,
now I do.
Wait. What is the deadlift workout?
Like, is it
max reps or like load?
Max reps in a minute. And so depending on your weight class, that's one thing I like about strongman too, because there's weight classes.
Right.
You don't really get that in CrossFit. You do that in weightlifting, but
yeah. Are they similar? Do you know?
I don't know.
The weightlifting classes, because they just shrank the weightlifting classes down. But keep going with the weight class. So in my weight class, the deadlift is 225, and I got to do it for reps in a minute. It's an axle bar, so they changed that up. Right.
And then there's a hold, a farmer's hold. Like, that'd be fun, but kind of hurt my hands.
But do you like deadlifting like fast like that?
Like reps in a minute?
Yeah.
I can do it, but it's like a minute, like doing something for a minute.
It's a long time, right?
Yeah, and strongman, so it depends. So if the weight was like 300 and it says reps in a minute, obviously like
you're only to get like a couple.
Right, and it becomes more like strength, but like the 225 will become more like cardio, endurance, which I have like because of CrossFit.
Right.
So that CrossFit like helps me. There.
Having that overall like high work capacity.
Yeah, muscle endurance, all that, just the continued movement. Then there's a farmer's hold. That's 120 per hand. You just hold as long as possible. Damn. And then it's an iron cross. So in my weight class, the cross weighs 175 pounds. You got to like pick it up, carry it 25 feet one way and then 25 feet back. No, it's brutal for sure, people.
It's so hard, dude. We got one of here. We played I played around with it one time. It was so hard.
Yeah.
Me and this one chick Dana here, we were just playing around with all the strongman stuff and I was dying.
Yeah, and you think like 175, okay, I can deadlift that and squat that, but like carrying it
and that the way that it is, dude. It's rough, dude. So what are you looking forward to the most? What event?
I want to do this, like the sandbag press is going to be the most challenging for me. So I'm actually looking forward to that the most. The other ones like the stone over bar, the deadlift, like the weight's not like too bad for me. So it will just be like how many reps I can do it in a minute. But I would really like that sandbag press just because I've only hit it like a few times in training.
Right. You want to like tackle that drag.
I want to, That's dope. That feels good when you can do that.
Right. You're like, oh shit, dude, I got it done.
Yeah.
That's an awesome moment. It's like, that's what you're talking about, like with weightlifting. It's, you don't get a lot of those after you've been doing it for a while, right? Like you've been doing, you have a lot of repetition for all the stuff that you do, you know?
I think the supertotal is like the only time in the past 2 years, like is when I PR'd any of my weightlifting.
It's crazy. Like, I know some people that went 5 for 5 that day. I'm like, I mean, it was like really hype in there, but like, that's one of those times where people like send it fully.
Yeah.
That's fun. So, dude, I saw that you guys like took your like, I guess the women that signed up from it from like 5 last year, like 20 this year. Like, what's that feel like knowing that you're helping to grow a sport like with women in the area?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it so much. And I remember last year Winter Wreckage was my first individual strongman competition, and I made awesome friends. And just to see like the girls do it, it's so awesome.
Right.
It really is. Like, I don't know what else to say other than like how awesome it is. And it's like empowering, you know? And I like programming, and I like meeting with some of the girls at the gym, like to like prepare them for this type of stuff.
Right.
You know, it's different than like, I love CrossFit, been coaching CrossFit for 4 or 5 years now, but this is like, it's just different right now, you know? And just seeing women lift heavy stuff is like so cool.
Right. So dope. I mean, especially like, how many people do you guys have from Pottstown going there this weekend?
I think there's 9 of us, and there's 75 athletes.
Yeah.
So we always roll in squad deep.
Yeah. So
a lot of the strongman people like train out of their gym, like, or out of their like garage gym.
Right.
There's only a few, like the Lions Den, they have like a big strongman community, but a lot of the strongman people, they're mostly just like in their own gym, like
their thing, yeah. Dirty old dudes too. Sorry guys out there. But dude, you were talking about like programming. So like let's dive into that a little bit. Like I feel like when I was hanging out at the gym and just meeting like a lot of you guys over there, you were just getting into programming outside of like classes and stuff, like writing for other people. Do you remember or know who the first person you like wrote programming for was? Like indie or anything, just outside of group classes?
Yeah, like there was just 2 girls that like came up to me and was like interested. Like, okay, because Pottstown we do have group classes, but we have that open gym too. And sometimes that open gym doesn't work for people. But I remember, I don't even know how did it come about? Oh, I was writing, during COVID, I was like writing workouts, like my workouts. Cause I always, other than Octavia's program for me for a while.
For yourself, right?
Yeah. And I would write my workouts on the board and then they would like all text me, oh, I did it and da. And I was like, well, I can just do that.
Yeah. How did you program back then versus like now? Because now you have like big blocks and stuff like that. Did you like, what would a normal like 2-day block look like for you?
Oh, so back then it was just like, I'm just giving you a random workout.
Everything,
yeah. Like I'll give you like a strength, a crazy, and sometimes it wasn't even strength. It'll be like, I'm going to like all this conditioning.
Yeah.
Whatever, like heavy lifts in it. Like
some people like that still now. Though,
I know. And the more you learn, it's like, you really just got to learn the person and like what they want. Like, cause I'll get in my head, like, I want to help you get stronger. A lot of these people, if they tell me they want to do good at CrossFit, but they're missing like the strength stuff.
Yeah.
But they don't see that. Like you really do have to take time to work on that individually. Like these elite athletes that are, you know, they're strong. They took time to work on like strength blocks and, you know, sometimes trying to convince someone of that, or they don't see that, you know, they just see these elite people doing quads every day instead of like taking time to work on like a gymnastics thing or, you know, a strength thing. But yeah, so it's not the same as it was like back then as it is now. But yeah, it's just so individual too. And that's kind of where like the Hippie Fit came about, because people would just come to me and I was programming for a few like people and it was always like, I don't know my exact goal. And like, I would kind of come up with their goal for them. I have a style. It's always like,
that's awesome though.
Yeah, like a strength and then like superset with some gymnastics movement that you're consistently like working on, conditioning and then accessory. And I was doing the same exact thing I've noticed for multiple people. And I was like, I can like make like a template and like, we can all kind of do this together. And
that's sweet.
That's where like the Hippie Fit kind of came about, catching me.
Did you have any, I was just gonna ask about did you have like any other, like were you brainstorming names? Like what were some other ones you came up with?
I don't remember. I just remember like
it was Hippie Fit right from the beginning?
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I don't remember the moment I was like, that's a catching me.
So when you sit down to first write it, right? Were you like overwhelmed and try to, because it's like a 12-week program, right?
Yeah.
Were you like overwhelmed or did you like try to take it slow and like
take it slow? Like when I first wrote Hippie Fit.
Yeah.
Because there's Hippie Fit 1 and Hippie
this
Fit
is
2
now, right? Yeah.
But the first one, it was a lot of time and really thinking about like how, and you know, and maybe some people I was using percentages and I'm moving to like the RPE and I was like, okay, but I want to progress people in gymnastics. How do I do that in a template? That was the hard part. Like, how do I progress people with gymnastics really in a template?
Yeah.
And I had to kind of figure that out. But I wrote it all as in like, I did the whole strength first, and then I wrote all the accessory out. And then I worked in the conditioning then and kind of thought it all out. Yeah.
Like these are the things that I want you to do for strength gymnastic. Like those are both kind of strength things, you know, like this is what we're going to focus on. And then also this fits here as far as cardio, stuff like that. Yeah. That's sick. Yeah. Was the first one 12-week too? Hippie Fit 1? Hippie Fit 1, yeah, it's 12 weeks. And then Hippie Fit 2, which I just finished, that's 12 weeks. But the Hippie Fit 1 it's like my baby, because it's like all the stuff that, like there's no kipping pull-ups in it, there's no snatches. It's all stuff that like will get you stronger, like strict
gymnastics movements, and then strict, back squats, deadlifts, presses, and then I had cleans in there as the strength movements. But Hippie Fit 2 is different because it gets you prepared for the open. So I put kipping. Yeah, I put kipping stuff in there, like, and I even took time to write out exactly if they don't have a kipping pull up, what are the progressions? Like, this is what you should be working on each week. If you don't have handstand walks, like, this is the progressions. This is what you should be working on, like, each week. Because I took time to write all that out.
That's dope. Do you do like feedback to athletes as well? Like once they get the template, like workouts and progressions and stuff like that? Yeah.
And most of, a lot of the people, there was only like a few that I didn't really know that did Hippie Fit. All the ones that have it, I know pretty good, so I'm like constantly checking in, like constantly.
You're the coach that like wants to know.
I want to know, please, like, don't think that I did this because I don't want to, like.
Yeah, just take it and one size fits all.
That's like I wanted to like know. And I even had some of my athletes, they would email me like how their week went and write it all out that way.
That's dope. Hippie Fit 2 leading up to the open. So you have the kipping pull-ups in there and stuff like that.
Toes to bar. Yeah,
butterfly progressions.
Not butterfly, just kipping. Yeah, because but I have muscle ups in there. Like I wrote it in a way of like, okay, if you can do kipping pull-ups and this so many, then work on muscle ups for this amount of time. Snatches are in there. And in Hippie Fit 1, I didn't make. So the conditioning was always kind of light and kept you moving. It was kind of like interval training to find that like heavy.
Like breathing really heavy.
Finding that and not taking too much, if it's really heavy, you're going to take a little bit longer to pick it up.
Right.
So it was kind of lighter. Hippie Fit 2, I made like, if you want to get prepared for the open, you want to be able to lift heavy in a workout.
CrossFit style open workouts.
Yeah, I added that in there, and barbells. In Hippie Fit 1, there wasn't many in the conditioning. Like it was all like dumbbells and kettlebells, really. No barbells. But Hippie Fit 2, there's barbells in the workouts and stuff.
Right. So people can like get Hippie Fit 2 right now, prepare for the open if they want to, or they can get Hippie Fit 1 still, right?
Yeah.
If they want to do like general cardio, stuff like that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Because I love CrossFit, but not everyone needs to do the kipping pull-ups or the snatches.
Yeah. Or like a squat snatch and a
back. You don't have to do that. So
totally makes sense.
The first Hippie Fit 1 is like for those people that really aren't gonna do all,
Right. Like all my personal training clients, like they all clean in some capacity. Like some of them do it for the floor, some do squat cleans, some are like full cleans, but none of them snatch.
Yeah.
Because I don't really have any personal training clients that need to snatch.
Right.
They get their overhead stuff and push pressing, strict pressing, all that stuff. So they don't need to snatch, and I love it. It's one of my favorite movements, maybe my favorite movement, Actually random. I feel like I knew this before, but what are your favorite like movements now in fitness?
Yeah, because it changes.
Changes. Yeah. That's why it used to be snatch me like no problem. Now I think it's like jerk.
You asked me this on your podcast a few years ago, and I said snatch. But it's not anymore at all.
It's like already. That's what I'm saying.
Probably deadlift, and I like push pressing. Yeah,
I do love going overhead, but it's not the snatch anymore. I think it's the jerk now.
Yeah.
I've never been a good push presser or like strict presser. Actually, I did strict press yesterday. But the jerk. I think I love the jerk still. Fast movement, but still going overhead. Yeah, and I think, and that for me, I'm like an explosive athlete. So like getting that bar overhead, like I don't get scared. It's just like how much force can I put into that bar? Right. Love that. Yeah. So I also see that you do some programming for your mom. What's that like? Oh, that's like, it's one of the best parts of Instagram. Oh my gosh, I love it. And it's my way of like giving back. I put her through so much trouble. How'd that get started? Programming for her? Yeah, not the trouble. That's a whole other talk. But we were on a family vacation, and my niece, who's 10 years old, we were all like doing something. My mom was sitting on the floor and she had a hard time getting back up. And I was like, Mom, like,
you shouldn't have this hard of a time getting back up, and like, I can help you. Like I showed her what True Coach was, because she lives an hour and a half from me, like, you know, and I was like, I can just send you something, like it will take you 20 minutes a day,
right?
You know, and there's videos right here, but you just have to do it. She's never worked out ever in her entire life.
Yeah.
She just retired that past year when we were on family vacation. And I was like, so I started sending her little workouts, and just, it's like the first one is like air squat, accumulate like 15 reps. You know, that's it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to give too much, because I know my mom, if I give her,
it would have been nothing. Yeah.
And even that for her was like, she was like, wow, that was really hard. But just, it's been happening for a year and a half, almost 2 years I've been programming for her. And it went from like 15 air squats, you know,
like that was the only workout.
Yes, that was the only workout. Or I would say press with the dumbbells.
Yeah.
3 sets of 10. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Or like hold the dumbbells overhead for 1 minute. Like, and that would be all I would give her for a day to literally, like, her workout. Today it was like RDLs, like superset with glute bridges. And then it was like carry the slam ball up and down the steps 3 times, box step overs. And it was.
Is she going to a gym now?
No, just at home.
In the basement.
In the basement. She was like, I would never be able to walk into a gym. You know, some people are scared to do that. And I recently started programming for Dustin's mom too, who's never worked out before. And it's just like, you know, the basics: squat, lunge, if you can, you know, or we'll get you there, like holding things, carrying things, presses, all stuff that when you get older, you're like,
you need those movements.
You need them. Yeah. Or like, you know, and I can't even like talk to my mom about nutrition yet. She's like not there yet to change any of that, but she's like, I can get off the floor now.
Right.
No problem. Like she showed me like a curtsy lunge the other day. She's like, look, I can do this.
That's like, literally life-changing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, I love it.
Like, I think, you know, Max, like, he was at the Supertotal when we were at Brandywine. So when he came on the podcast, we talked about like what fitness means to you and like what does it mean to be fit. And he defined it as like life insurance.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I have the insurance that I can be like self-contained as I get older. I can take care of myself. Like, and that's just in the sense of being able to get up and down off the floor, you know? That's crazy. I mean, you're changing lives like by introducing it to people.
She's done it every single day. She's been my most consistent person.
She hits the mark just complete.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. Leaves me comments, sometimes gives me the middle fingers, but like, she went on this trip like a month ago, and she was like, man, I was actually able to like get off the bunk bed and like do all this stuff that she couldn't do before.
That's crazy.
She was on a train. It was like a train trip, and it was moving the whole time. And she was like, I feel like I have balance now from working out. Like, you know.
Damn, that's completely changed. So, like, she lives an hour and a half away. You were there then. Have you been back since you started programming for her?
Yeah.
Have you guys like worked out together or
no,
thought about it?
She won't work out.
That would never happen.
No.
One day you guys sneak in the basement and just do it together. A little something.
One time I was there and I was watching her, and she was like, "Come watch me."
But if she keeps going, she'll get into it.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's awesome. Yeah,
that's so awesome. All right, random question, right? So let's say you get into a new relationship, right? And like you have superpowers, like
okay,
all the cool ones, like you can fly, shoot lasers, like you're super strong, you know, like you're Gina 2.0.
Okay.
Like after how many dates or like weeks or months or whatever would it take for you to tell the person like you're going to keep them around, or like what are you going to tell them that you have powers?
Well, that depends. That depends.
Like you like them. You like them.
I don't know. It really depends. Like it takes me a while to like open up.
So it's like 3 years.
Yeah, it might be a while. You know, I might have superpowers already.
Right now.
Yeah, Dustin doesn't know.
You just still don't know. What if you guys are both superheroes and you just haven't told each other yet?
Right.
That's fun. Wait. Okay. So another random question between the two of you, Dustin. A shout out to you. If you guys both have powers, who would be the hero and who would be the villain? If one person had to be either one.
Like probably the villain. Like, or I don't know. That's good.
Sarah said I'd probably be the villain. That's funny. funny.
I probably would.
I'd probably be the villain of my relationship too. My girlfriend.
In the relationship.
Yeah. Like if it was anyone else, I might be the hero. But my girl's like a scientist, so I feel like she might be the evil
scientist.
Yeah, so she might be the evil scientist. So you know. But let's get back to the stuff, dude. So what do you actually do full time, like for a job? I know you work in like human services, right? Like what's your job title? What do you do day to day?
Yes, so I'm a certified peer specialist. That's my title. I work in mental health. I have a caseload. It could be anywhere from like 12 to 17. Right now it's like 15 people.
Right.
I meet with them. They tell me their goals that they want to work on. It's all mental health people. But it could be anyone from age 20, like that's my youngest client, to 70. All right. And it's some of their mental health diagnoses are pretty severe.
Right.
They're such smart people. Some of them like have degrees and stuff like that. But like I have a client that just can't get out of her house because she's constantly like checking something, you know, the OCD. Or I have a client, she's awesome, but she hears voices through her fan and stuff like that. And it's just a daily battle with that kind of stuff. But what makes my job unique is I'm allowed to share my experiences with mental health and what I've gone through and what has helped me in my recovery. So the difference between a regular therapist, usually therapists aren't talking about their life, but I'm allowed to be an open book.
Oh, damn.
I can share as much as I feel comfortable with sharing. You know, I struggle with anxiety. I struggle with if you want to call it ADHD or focusing. You know, I have drug and alcohol background. So I have all that. And, you know, I can just kind of, some days I just sit and talk with a client. Some days my younger client wants to work out and she's like all depressed and stuff. And we're just kind of working out together and not really talking.
Right.
Sometimes I go on walks with my peers. I've taken them like food shopping. It's different day to day. I've been at that job for almost 5 years now.
Damn, dude, it's a long time. Like,
wow.
I got a lot of questions on that. But you talked about like helping people to find and set goals earlier. Like, has that always been a part of you? I mean, we talked before on the last episode about changing your life and getting it together, but where did you find that ability to set goals for yourself and for other people?
Yeah, that's a good, and I don't think it's always been like that. Like when I was using drugs and active addiction.
It's like a recent development, right?
Right. But once I got clean, it was like, I still remember I was in early recovery and I wrote down, someone suggested to write like a 3-month goal down, a 6-month goal, and like yearly goals.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that consistently now for like the past like 6.5 years. And I try to, it helps me stay focused on like what I want to get accomplished, because I can get lost in feelings and emotions of the day and kind of like lose like what those goals are sometimes.
Right.
Now it's become a lot easier to kind of stay on track. Once you know it feels good to like achieve those goals.
Yeah.
I would say for my clients, like I try not to influence their goal setting.
Right.
It can be hard because I'm very passionate about
helping people, right?
Helping people,
the same thing, man.
Mental and physical health. I'm so passionate about it, and some of my clients are like nowhere near like to even take the physical health route. Even though I'm so passionate, and I'm sitting there like, we can change your life. You know, like
I wish people could see you right now.
Yeah, I'm like twitching, like I can help. But you don't want to push that on them if they're not ready, right?
Yeah.
So some of my people, like their goal is just literally to like go for a walk like once a day, because they're sitting in their apartment all day, 24/7, like not leaving the house.
Yeah.
But goal setting for me is something I love to do, and it helps me like stay on track with everything.
Yeah.
I do that even as an athlete in my competitions, like in the past 3 months, in a 3-month period, I would have competed in a CrossFit competition, that Spartan Ultra, which is 31 miles, and then strongman, all in this past like 3-month period. But I wanted to do it to like prove it to myself.
That I could do all of these things. I'm capable. Yeah. That's awesome. How do you deal with like taking on so many other people's like trauma and just what they bring from their life, not only like in your job, but then also like in CrossFit and programming for people?
Yeah. And I would say even Resurgence.
Right.
Because that's, you know, as I think some people know, but it's like free for people in recovery from
Right.
drugs and alcohol. So I work during the day, which I'm getting a lot of, it's emotional. Like my job is emotional. I do hear people's trauma, like
Especially since you can share stories back too, right?
yeah. So they know me too. And
Right.
it's kind of like rehashing and it's emotional.
Yeah.
Like there's some days where I sit in my car at work and I'll cry because
Right.
it's that emotional, and I'm not in like a bad spot just because I'm crying, but it's like, I need to get it out.
An outpouring of emotion, literally.
It's strong, you
Yeah.
know? And I can go into stories about it. That's a whole, you know, some of these people's stories, but yes. So I get emotional, and then I go to the gym and I do my workout, and then I get ready for like the Resurgence class, and you have people coming in that they're all in recovery from drug, and even just coaching the
Right.
regular classes, because I call them regular, but like
People have stuff.
yeah, they
you
come
know?
to you like when you're a coach, they come to you and
Yeah.
they talk to you, and I love it. I'm not saying, but I definitely need to take care of myself. There's some days and I have this coin in my hand, like this, I keep this in my pocket when I'm at work.
Right.
And then when I get off of work, I like put it down and I'm like, okay, work is over.
You walk away from it.
I walk away from it.
Yeah.
So that's how I help with the mental health stuff that I do.
Right.
With the coaching that I do, when I'm at the gym, if I know I'm not in a good headspace, and this only took practice, I won't open up a conversation.
Yeah.
Like I know how to open up a conversation, you know, like how you doing?
How to
Like
engage people, yeah.
I could see when someone's struggling,
Right.
but if I'm like not mentally okay, just because I have to coach them and
Yeah.
everything, I don't open it up, and I will grab someone else and be like maybe a girl that's been coming to Resurgence class for a while, like, hey, can you help her? Like she looks like she's struggling. Can you talk to her after class? Or
Yeah.
let her go to the support group meeting with you. I use them to like use the athletes.
The community that you've helped raise,
Yeah. Because there are some days like that it's a lot.
That's deep. Like to like consciously know like I have this going on with myself, and then I need to practice this so that I'm ready for these situations. You know? And then like to be cognitive of knowing that like, yo, I'm in a low vibrational state right now.
Yeah,
It's
and
a lot.
it's take time.
It
Yeah,
takes a lot of
like
time.
I started the Resurgence program and my job at Creative Health, my day job, started the same year.
Damn.
So 5 years, you know, or 4 or 5, somewhere
Right.
around there, time gets lost. But
I feel you.
so in the beginning, like I didn't know like how to handle situations. I would go from one very like traumatic like incident at work to the next, and like someone's relapsing or someone's died or someone's, you know, because we have people that have come into our program and like left and died from a relapse, you know, and it's like, or they're using and the anxiety inside me of like they can die, like it's the potential that might happen, you
especially
know?
when you see like you start recognizing the signs, like when they're at that real bad path.
Yeah.
You know, like people that were on the inside like could know what that's like. Like
I've gotten better at recognizing when I need a break.
yeah.
There's some days where Dustin's awesome. He's another coach at the gym. I could be like, I've had a hard day. Like, I just need to be by myself for a little bit. Can you maybe coach this class? That doesn't happen often because I love coaching.
Right.
But sometimes it does happen because if I would talk to one more person, like,
super overly stimulated, right?
Too stimulated, I'm going to have a breakdown myself. And then I've recognized, because this has happened to me, is that I'll start missing work then. And I'll start like taking days off. And then I find myself like not working for a few days. And, you know, I have to work.
Right. Like you have to do that.
Yeah, I have to work. So I've got better at recognizing when I need to, like Gina time, or, you know, like one of my tools, like not opening the door, using the community.
Right. That's so good, dude. Like I used to be that exact same way. I would be in a bad mental health space and still try to engage with people. And you can like feel the conversation not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did I do this?
Why did I open that door?
Yeah. So do you feel like or before that, I should say, did you feel like you always owed people your time and energy? Because like I'd be in a place where I'm like similar to you, a lot of people's like sounding board, a place to vent or for them to go to, right? So I would get to a lot of the times where I felt like I owe this to people, like, you know, like I have to be here for this person.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely. And I mean, we were told in early recovery too, like the best thing, like we need to give back to people. Right. So like, I'm constantly like trying to give back and trying to be like good in quotes or whatever in my recovery. Like, so I was just giving and giving and giving and going to meetings and talking to people there and helping the newcomer there and helping so much that I'm just like,
it's hard. Just like you said earlier, I think you really keyed on it. Like, I have to practice this.
Yeah.
You know, it's a practice working on myself. You know, it's so crazy. This is something that I go through. Do you ever go through like survivor's remorse? You know, all these years removed from addiction, and you see people in the past. Like, I had this very vivid memory the other day where it's like, I know I took this person to the place they got these drugs that they gave to this other person that died.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like been years, and me and that person didn't even have a relationship. And I'm like, damn, who am I to still be here? But like, I had this effect on your life, you know?
100%. And it hit me really bad. My ex-boyfriend that I dated for like 6 years died this past year. And I was really close with his parents. I mean, I dated him for 6 years, like, and, you know, going to his funeral, and the last time I saw his parents, I was using with him, you know, and I got him into some of the stuff that he was doing, you know, and it like breaks my heart to like think about. And I do get that survivor's guilt a lot. And, you know, I've lost a lot of friends from overdose. I was looking at this picture of mine the other day, and like, I have a lot of friends, but I only get really, really close to a few people. And I had this picture, and it was 3 of like my closest people I've ever gotten close to in my life. And they're all dead from addiction. And I still talk to 2 of their parents. And I'm talking to my parents that passed away. And like,
we had all these experiences together.
And I'm alive. And he's not. And it's like,
do you have any like practices for pulling yourself out of those like
mental
moments of headspace like that?
There's nothing I can, you know, I think I honestly think that they, you know, my friends' parents would want me to stay clean and just continue to like give back. And, you know, my friends, sometimes my light flickers in my apartment, and I always say it's my dead friends, you know, they're like watching me, but I know that they would be proud of like what I'm doing, like with the resurgence stuff, and just, I live my life, try to give back to people with the mental health stuff that I do during the day. I just can't let my brain fester in that too long. And it would be a big disgrace even more if I let that get to my head and then I'm like, give up, you know? Every day is a battle. It's gotten easier over the years, but it's still a battle. And it could be, if you let like, I don't know if it's mentally strong or disciplined or what, but if I let like one bad thing like fester in my brain, like it can result in me like dying from like just using drugs because like, I want to
be dramatic, like really.
No, absolutely. Like I can have like letting emotions get to me to the point where like drugs was my coping skill back then. I can't let that happen anymore. So I try to, when something's festering in my brain, shut it down.
I like tell people that people in recovery can seem like they're highly emotional, but it's from my perspective because drugs, alcohol, substance abuse was like our coping method before. So now we've moved on to, I'm going to always cope with these emotions. I'm going to like have this conversation that needs to be had. I'm always going to like resolve through the emotions instead of like let it sit in my brain. You know, because that's what you always did before. Like, all right, this is troubling me today. I can just get high and it'll push it to the back. You know?
Always. And when you do that your whole life, from such a young age,
it's like put on
child, like I gotta deal with these feelings.
And then you suddenly like a rush of learning how to deal with them, you know, at a late age.
Like even my relationship now, like I dated people when I was using, but being in a relationship, like not on drugs is so different to be completely like authentic, and you can't run away from situations, you have to deal with them like head on. Like if I didn't like something before and I got in an argument with my ex, or we had trouble over something, like I'll just use drugs.
You just get high, right?
And we would get high together and be fine.
In the argument by getting high together. Yeah.
But like now it's like, no, you gotta sit and deal with this.
Like we have to talk about how that actually made me feel.
Yes. Like communication. Crazy. Like I feel like the relationship right now is like the hardest but best thing that I'm doing. Right. Like it's work. Like I have to really sit and talk.
It's nuts, dude. Did you when you were younger, did you see yourself like being in a relationship? Is that like something was like on your mind?
Like marriage and having kids weren't on my mind, but
just like being in a relationship, or did you see yourself as like a solo person?
No, I would see, like I've been in like relationships since I was like young. Yeah. I always like
connect with people.
Yeah. But I didn't think like I wouldn't, but like the whole like marriage and white fence and I was always like, F the system.
Oh, we're just gonna be together. Like, never get married or fuck with that.
So I'm like rebellious. So I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever opposite society is doing. It's annoying sometimes.
That's funny. So dude, like now let's bring it to the future. Like what's next for you? What are you hungry for?
It's just working on myself. And I was in early recovery. I was doing a lot of like, and I still do it, the working out, but that was my way of working on myself. Yeah. But now it's like I'm trying to work on the mental part and stimulating my brain, and like I've been reading every morning.
Yeah, I saw that. That's dope.
Yeah, like, and I feel like I can concentrate way better. And why didn't I do it before? But just kind of constantly growing. I don't like I'll always train, all right, but like I don't see myself being like any like crazy world-class athlete, which because I don't really want to train like that. Right. So it's just like I want to continue doing it like for my health and just get stronger.
And kicking ass in all these different fields and shit.
Yeah. Just be decent at everything. Right. I don't know, just that continued self-growth type, I get those words. How do you say that? Am I saying it right? Self-growth. Yeah.
Self-growth.
There you go.
What's wrong with that? Self-improvement. Like you want to be really deep. Self-actualization.
There you go.
That's when you're like really trying to like touch the universe and shit.
Yeah. Just inner work. That I avoided. I used my physical body for a lot for this like past 6 years in recovery, and I'm trying to like stimulate the brain.
Hey, that's deep. Love that. What do you got on the books for like 2023? What comps you got signed up for? What do you think you're gonna sign up for?
I'm not signed up for anything right now, but I'll do the supertotal again.
Hey, let's
year
go.
3.
Yeah. Year 3
for me.
Yeah, year 3 for you.
This will be
this will be the third year. I'll say that. The first one was an in-house thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so the third year.
So I'll do supertotal again because the adrenaline I get from that is awesome. But I mean, I have a Spartan, Vermont.
I was gonna say. That's dope.
But not a 30-miler.
Oh shit. That's the big one though, the one in Vermont, right?
Yeah, that's what it says. It's the hardest Spartan in the United States.
Let's
so I was like, let's sign up for it.
Yeah. And then the Open, we got that February.
And I'm gonna sign up this year, and I haven't signed up since 2017. I've always done them, but this year I'm like gonna sign up just to.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
To be hyped. Yeah, supertotal 2023. I'm like planning stuff for it right now. I want to add another weight class in. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know how I would separate it too much more. Maybe like a middle kind of weight class, but we'll see what happens. We'll see next year.
I like the kind of weight class.
Weight class, they're good. And dude, that you're the lightweight women's last year.
Oh, beast.
Yo, it was crazy.
Like I didn't.
I should post it again. Like I put out the numbers of how much weight the girls lifted over that day. It's crazy, bro.
I was like just like in awe.
Yeah, it was an awesome day. Like
of those girls.
People out there listening, like, and the spectators told me they had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you don't compete in it this year, definitely come out and spectate. It's a lot of fun to see. Like, I mean, the guys do, but the girls throw around a lot of heavy weights.
Yeah.
I mean, Jenny Butler like cleaned 220.
I know.
And almost jerked it. Like,
and then snatched like 175, and I was just like.
I mean, you're a lightweight girl, and she's smaller than you.
She's smaller than me,
So it was a lot of fun. Too. Yeah. But Gina, like, thanks for coming on again. Yeah. It's always a great time having you guys out. Dogs, it's been another great episode. Thank Gina for coming on. Go check her out if you're not following her already. Peace.